Hello everyone, welcome to my first video where I show you more in depth the way I work with sound design for video games and implementation. Just a little disclaimer before we start diving into the Wwise project and the Unity project. This game is in early development, so I'm sorry if you see any maybe visual bugs or something like this, but I repeat, the game is still in development. So, the first thing I want to show you is the first boss fight of the game. I pretty much finished the sound design, and after this we can go through the Wwise project. I will show you how I organize the sound banks, the sounds themselves, and I show you a little bit of layering for the sound design that I did. So without further ado, enjoy. Okay, so I hope you liked what you heard, and if you have some advice, please write those down in the comments, and I would really appreciate that. By the way, speaking of the Wwise project, the first issue that I encountered working on this game was how do I manage the sound banks, the load and the unload of the sound banks. Currently, the game has 500 rooms. We planned to um, reach the 1000, so there's a lot of rooms, and I didn't want the game to keep on loading and loading certain sound banks, okay? Luckily, the game is pretty linear, so if you reach, for example, the 25th room, you can't go back to the 24, you can only go forward. So this helped me a lot in the process of thinking about how to manage the sound banks, because the mistakes that I made at the beginning was because the programmer came to me saying, hey, I have this game object that gives the player a power up that spawn every 25th room. What I thought at the time was, okay, I will create a sound bank just with that sound in it, and the game engine just load and unload this sound bank every 3 to 4 minutes, because you reach the 25th room every 3 to 4 minutes. Obviously, it depends on how you play the game, but in average, that's the range of time for reaching the 25th room, okay? So what I did was I asked the programmer for a Excel document where he wrote basically every room that we have right now in the game, and that helped me a lot, because right now I have this work unit that contains 4 sound banks. And for example, this sound banks is responsible for the sounds from the 0 from the 25 room, this one from the 26 to the 50, this one from the 51 to the 75, and this one to the 75 to the 99. From 99 because the boss fight is responsible for the 100 room, okay? So I have this one. With this method, the game engine will load the sound bank, each of the sound bank at just one time per run per gameplay. Okay, and I think that right now is the best way to manage this kind of rooms issues that I had at the beginning. Speaking of audio, right now, the most creative thing that I did so far is that when you take the bomb, a state will play. This state is called bomb clock, and basically it goes from off to on in a time of 7 seconds, and vice versa to on from on to off in 1 second. This means basically that if you do not have the bomb, the state is set to off. As soon as you take it, the state is set to on, and it will play in 7 seconds. Okay, I applied this state to the SFX bus because I want that all the sounds except for the music are affected by this state, and the state has these values: voice volume -4 and a low pass filter at 49, maybe 50, just for okay. This state in particular works along with the clock sounds, okay, because also the clock sounds are not affected by the state, so the music and the clock sounds are not affected, because I want to kind of create some tension when you have the bomb, because you have max 15 seconds to find where to put it before it explodes. Okay, so I want to say to the player, hurry up or it will explode. Okay, and what I did was basically for these clock sounds, I have these two effects that also these effects are affected by the state. This means that based on the time that has passed since you took the bomb, the delay and the reverb in this case will increase on volume. So that's basically maybe the most creative thing that I did for now, also because I have this material and I have to work with this material. So for now I found this creative way to communicate to the player some anxiousness. And basically what I did for the others is I have a mixer for the boss attack. And when it comes to sound designing, especially for the bosses, what I like to do is I always have two layers that are always present when the boss, in this case, for example, attacks. And because I want it to be easily recognized, I want the player that can easily recognize what the boss is doing also by the sounds. Then I have these random containers that contains some childs, some blank containers childs with some other sounds. And that's basically it for the audio tab. And I hope you liked the video. I hope it can help you, maybe if you're working on a similar project, or maybe just if you want to comment my workflow. I would really appreciate it. So see you in the next video.